is up, everybody?
Hey, how you
Hello,
doing?
Crow family. Welcome to CrowCast episode 43. Insane.
Incredible. 43 weeks, mate. 43 weeks. It's not bad, is it?
Unbelievable. We're gonna get into, well, we'll be doing this for a year soon. That's terrifying. That's unbelievable.
Well, I think we've marked it in the diary, which is a sad but exciting thing as well. At the same time, it's a bit bittersweet, isn't it? So it's nice to be doing something, but you're still kind of like, oh, I just want to get out on the road. Like, we think of all the gigs we could have had, and especially like with Doug and the Dead Daisies and stuff like that. It's just, it is what it is. We're all in it together. But yeah, CrowCast, we've already put it in the diary a year. It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. It's ridiculous how quick it's gone. And as you said, we shouldn't be doing this, but here we are doing it. This is our gigs. And you just said there, we got another amazing guest this week. Doug Aldrich, ladies and gentlemen, will be with us very shortly. But incredible. How's your week been, bud?
Do you know what? It's been fantastic. Thanks to you as well for a great recommendation. Tried the Queen's Gambit. So I got an episode in. But while we're talking about weeks, I got to get it out there, right? As everybody knows who watches this show, we are very, very good friends with the guys at Steelhouse Festival. So, without further ado, did you listen to the latest Steelcast podcast?
Yes, I heard a lot of that was said, and I heard a lot of fear, to be honest, Ron.
It was really, it was interesting, wasn't it, mate? I mean, it's lovely to see the guys, plodding along. They're doing great and everything, and then I hear, young chaps and hospital beds, and there's been talk of loads, when you're Charlie Farley's and Darren Griffiths, you're as guilty for egging them on. So anybody who doesn't know what's going on, we have challenged Steelhouse to a charity football match.
Challenge. It's more of a, it's nice for them to get out, isn't it? Because it won't be a challenge as such.
Well, no, exactly. And for anybody who heard the latest episode of the Steelcast, so like you said, how was my week? It was quite humorous. So I got friends the same as you, and we thought we'd send them out. So basically, Max has said they're in training, ready for this charity football match. But what they didn't realize was we've got mutual friends who are great with cameras. And we caught them. We've caught them doing a bit of training, bit of pre-training. It is socially distanced, so I will say to people, don't worry about it, don't stress. Mikey and Max have kept their distance, but that's beautiful. Do you want to see a photo, dude?
Yes, please, bud. Yeah.
I think it's great. Bless him. Look at that.
I tell you what, Max got some good legs on him, mind, haven't he? Fair play.
I know. And look at Mikey's left foot. God, he's powerhousing it, isn't he? He's powerhousing it on that scooter. Good God. I thought that was it, right? And I thought, you know what, we'll send our spies out there. We'll see what this Steelhouse football team are all about. And they said, you wouldn't believe what they said. They recovered 3 days later after that little jaunt on the scooter and the bike. They only went crossfitting as well, mate. Crossfitting. Yet again, for anybody watching, social distance. There was nobody, there was nothing. Do you want to see this photo, mate?
Let's see the photo. Let's see the evidence.
They even brought their own equipment and wiped it down.
There they are. I said it once, I'll say it again. Max has got a fine pair of legs on him.
I love those shorts on Mikey boy.
Yeah, but it's the old school, isn't it? It's the old school football shorts. Fair play, and the green socks.
Yeah. So yeah, brilliant, boys. We've taken on everything you've said. It's all noted. And when the world gets back to some normality, we look forward to giving you a run out. A nice day out. Yeah, a day out, like. And I have said, mate, maybe we can kind of get some, because there's been talk of trophies, the fan page, everyone's on about, so maybe we can get some sort of like runner-up spoons or something, like a wooden spoon, keep it Welsh and all of that. Like,
yeah, fantastic. Yeah, maybe we could sign the Zimmer frames or something. Yeah, absolutely. Work for anything. Oh, we're talking about Crow Fitness right now, and we're doing our best for the Steelhouse family as well as the Crow family. So Mike and Maxie, well done for getting out and training, if that's what you call it. We cannot wait to see you.
How was your week, dude? All right?
We've literally just, it's like tennis, and then now we've put it back into their court. Wait till next week. There you are.
Oh, I hope he's watching. I hope he's. I'm sure. I'm sure it'll get back anyway. Like I'm sure it'll get back.
Yeah.
How was your week, dude? All right.
Pretty good, bud. As you know, pretty busy. Crow family, everyone watching. The Crows have got some stuff coming. Can't wait to share it all with you. But yes, we've been very busy.
Awesome. And part of that busyness is a revamp. There's been a lot going on in the camp. Yeah.
Yes, a lot of people have been on the new web store, the new improved web store, Crow web store. Basically it's a January sale, so all the items are slash prices. Look at that in pink, lovely. We got that from Max's Blows. But the new web store, and obviously we got some new Crow clobber soon, so we're slashing the prices on all the stuff right now, so we can make some room for all the new Crow merchandise. Beautiful.
It will be. That will be absolutely stunning. Fair play. So yeah, there's a lot going on. A lot more will make sense over the coming weeks. But I'm pretty excited about tonight's guest. So shall we speak to him?
We will. And just for everybody, before we introduce the wonderful Doug, we normally do birthday shout outs. So we're going to do this after we have this wonderful chat with the one and only Mr. Doug Aldrich.
Hey guys, what's happening?
How's it going, man?
How are you guys? Looking good.
Yeah, you too, bro. So where are you right now?
I'm in Los Angeles and in my little home studio.
Oh, it's gorgeous, dude.
Yeah, it's a mess, but it's at least it's my mess. It's my, it's like you got your own space, your man cave or whatever you call it, and you know where everything is. It's like it's all laid out just how you left it.
It's an organized mess. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm exactly the same.
yours, Shane, yours looks pretty organized though. Both of you guys.
Right, dude. This is all for camera. This is
all fake.
The camera around, and I got all the business side and the studio side behind this. This is just for the camera.
That's like a green screen thing, right?
It's definitely smoke and mirrors, man. Me and Shane laugh about it all the time because it all looks really posh and all cool this side, but honestly behind the cameras it's exactly what Shane said. Everything is chucked that end, all on top of each other. Drum cases for me and boxes everywhere. Let's
jam. You got your drums?
Yeah,
you can sing.
Yeah,
on the drums. Yeah, I tried to do that earlier last year when the whole thing started happening. I saw these guys jamming together, and I'm like, how do they do? I got to figure it out. I tried every program. I did everything. It's not possible to jam with somebody 2,000 miles away. So you have to do it in pieces and then put it together. But I actually got a program that was really cool where you could hook it up to. I could hook it up to your computer, and I could play you a session in my studio, and you could hear it in stereo and speakers in real time. Well, not in real time. It would be like a 10 millisecond delay or something, but it was pretty cool, and I could actually reach into your computer with your mouse and change programs and do stuff. So
that's epic.
I had to turn into a tech head last year.
Yeah,
I love that, old man, because I think a lot of us have genuinely, Doug, like I think at the beginning of lockdown or the beginning of the pandemic, like my studio was nothing like this, man. It was nothing. It was just drums everywhere. But I think in the pandemic, I've personally learned how to mic my drums properly, or a lot. Yeah, to do a much better job on them. We've been playing around with software, hence we've got this up and running.
Yeah, this is great, guys.
So yeah, man, it does kind of force you out of your comfort zone. So that's really cool to see that you've been dabbling with new software. And we tried a program called Jam Kazam. Did you try that?
I tried it.
Oh, what a disaster!
No, it was. You have to. I tried to do it wireless on Wi-Fi as well, so it was like really sketchy. But it was it was kind of fun because you plug in with these guys from all over the world. And there's a guy over here and there's a guy over there, and you're all trying to talk and play, and it's like there's this latency, and the guy does a drum beat, you try to play to it, then he stops every time it was like, what's going on here? Funny.
Yeah, man. It felt like we were playing like when we were kids, like 6 years old. None of us could
yeah, it's like, yeah. Turns out, it could have been, an amazing player, but it's just like the latency on the computer made them sound like they were 6.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. And just looking there, man. There's some guitars in the background. What we got there, dude?
Yeah, I got a couple. I got a couple Les Pauls. I got a classical guitar. I got a Martin acoustic. I've been doing some writing and stuff with Glenn. So we've been, doing some demos and whatnot. And then periodically a little session here or there, and then just doing a lot of promo. But how are you guys? Where are you guys? Are you guys in the UK somewhere?
Yeah, man. We're in Bridgend, South Wales.
Okay. So yeah, in Wales. So what's this? Oh, by the way, I heard about this football match.
Yeah.
When is it? I want to be on your team.
Yes.
There we go.
Hey.
That's brilliant, dude. That's
when
brilliant.
is it?
We're hoping. I mean, when everything calms down, we're hoping maybe summertime. I hope when because Ricky Warwick, funny enough, he wants to jump in the team as well. So that'd be ace, man. If you want to jump on, that'd be brilliant, dude.
I would. I love Ricky too. And it's funny because I last year, actually, sorry, in 19, the Dead Daisies were off. We were in the process of making that the change to bring Glenn in, which we'll get to that in full detail in a minute. But during that period, I decided I was going to assistant coach my son's soccer team. And then they said, we don't need assistant coaches. We need coaches. And I'm like, my wife goes, no, don't do it. But I was like, no, I'm going to try it. I'm never home in the summertime, so I might as well try it. Guys, I didn't even know what offsides was at that time. And I'm there with like 12 kids, all around like 9 or 10 years old. But I drafted the best player. I had to go to the draft. I was all freaked out about it and draft these kids. All this, 9 and 10 year olds, they're being graded about their skills and stuff. I'm like, this is crazy. But my wife said, if you can draft this one kid, it would be great. And I was the 3rd pick, and I got him somehow. And then his dad was an assistant coach, but he's really like a head coach, and he knew everything. And it was great. And our team went all the way to the we went to the finals, and we were going to the next state to play the Western Division of the U.S. in Arizona, and then the pandemic hit. But I was like the guru type of guy that would get them mentally ready, and he was like the hard ass guy that would make them do push-ups if they were goofing around too much. But it was great, man. And I got to play in some matches with other coaches and stuff, and I really love it.
That's amazing. Well, you've clearly picked the right team, Doug.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You look at those pictures of those guys; they're pretty fierce looking.
Yeah, man. I mean, they've been working really hard by you, Doug. It's incredible. I mean, I've heard about that CrossFit thing. That's definitely they're putting everything into it. Put it that way.
Well, it looks like it's paying off. And by the way, I love those guys too. I love that festival. It's a great place and a great time. Weather's always nice.
Yeah, it was actually the last year was pretty good. It was the best we've had in a long time.
Yeah,
They had a sun tent and everything. It's a great festival. I really can't wait to go back with Glenn being Glenn's headline that festival.
Yeah.
And it'd be awesome.
Yeah, man. We love the guys in Steelhouse. We love them to bits.
So how are you guys getting on with the COVID stuff? What's happening?
Yeah, go on, Ron.
Yeah, I was going to say pretty sweet, to be honest. I've really got no complaints because 2020, when we ended the year, we kind of looked back and did a New Year's show, didn't we, Shane? And it was quite a success, man, what we managed to achieve with everything against you, like as a band, as you know, like. So we did a live stream for Planet Rock. We did a live stream for Rock Palace, so we managed to get out to Germany The timing was perfect and everything kind of aligned. It was real chaos. Mine, we had to have like tests 24 hours before, and we were like literally put on a plane, and it was whether we were. It was crazy. Like it was absolute adventure. And there's a few other things that we managed to do, which is going to make sense to all the fans over the next couple of weeks. And of course, this was born, Doug, as well. Like, you know, CrowCast, and I mean, I don't know if there's something I'm missing out by there, Shane, but it's been quite a success for us, hasn't it, bro?
It really has, man. We haven't stopped. It's been crazy. When the world stopped, we didn't. So, you know, creative-wise as well, we come up with new material. What have you, Doug? Have you come up with new stuff? Right then, obviously, with Doug and Glenn and the boys.
Yeah. So Shane, you hit me with a hard Welsh accent there. Tell me one more time. I missed a part of that.
Yeah, I'm Welsh, and I speak rather fast sometimes.
That was a little. I was like, whoa. So what was that? I heard Glenn and the boys. That's all I heard.
So yeah, I was just saying that we've been really creative, new music and stuff.
Yeah.
What's it been like with you guys, you Glenn?
Okay, I got you. Yeah, we well, you know, we had big plans for 2020, and everything got pushed a year back. Now we're a year later, and it's so bizarre because, you know, for me personally, I was doing a lot of juggling. I did a bunch of writing with Glenn. We got together after the initial you know, kind of lockdown in Los Angeles, and we were able to get together in the summer, and we did a bunch of songwriting and hanging out, you know, socializing, going to dinners and stuff. And just with him, I didn't see anybody else. Later in the year, in October, the band got together to do a 10-day rehearsal in LA, and it was a blast to play together and play these new songs. But other than that, it's just been it's just bizarre because the year felt, I mean, it feels like it was just yesterday that we were in 2020 in January, and then all hell broke loose. But it's gone by in my mind so fast, but at the same time, it was like every day it was slow motion.
Yeah.
You know, it's just weird. But here we are, 21, fresh start, touch wood, and we are now prepared to release the album, and we're really excited about it. Can't wait for people to hear it. We tried to do some things to keep our friends and fans have something to look forward to. So we released a couple tracks and did some lockdown stuff, you know, like everybody else. But the rest of the time was juggling family, and I'm renovating my house too. So it's a lot of decisions to be made about, you know, how that was going to go.
Yeah, that's awesome. What is the writing process like, Doug? Because I mean, you guys, world-class musicians. You've been there, you've done it, other bands, you've come to form this super group. What is the writing process like?
Well, it's been different, to be honest, because when I joined the band, the Dead Daisies, it was with Marty Fredrickson producing, and then it would be all of us sitting around in a circle with acoustic guitars and just showing each other ideas that we had. You know, nothing. It wasn't really. It didn't feel right to say, hey, listen to my MP3 of this completed idea. It just didn't feel right. It felt more organic to sit together and blast through stuff. And Marty Fredrickson he's a great songwriter, and he would come up with melodies right away. And then John would latch onto that and work with him, and then they'd work on lyrics. With this situation, when we started to discuss Glenn and then Glenn getting involved, Glenn said to me in the first conversation, first he goes, I said, is this for real? And he goes, yeah, Doug, it's time for you and I to make some music together. And I was like, this is going to be amazing. And I felt really good about it because it was a real fresh start. It wasn't trying to replace anybody. It was like starting fresh. But Glenn said, I got a couple songs that I've been working on for us and for this. And so I thought, oh, okay, so I'll do the same. And immediately was inspired by what I could put together for Glenn, you know, because really with somebody like Glenn, same with David Coverdale, same with Ronnie James Dio, you know, these guys got to feel it. If they're going to sing on it, they got to be into it. And so I presented Glenn with a few ideas that I wasn't precious to anything because, you know, in case he didn't feel it or didn't get into it, then I was just going to chuck it away and keep going, come up with more stuff. but he really liked what I brought, and I really liked what he brought, and we all worked together on each other's ideas. Glenn being the primary because he's writing melodies and lyrics as well. But there was a couple of song ideas, one in particular that David Lowy and I had that we didn't really have a chorus hook for, and I played it for Glenn, and Glenn's, it's like immediate, like whatever chord progression you play him, he can just jump right in and start hammering away on it, and it's like, whoa, that's cool. And then we'd get to the part where we'd run out, we didn't have the next part, and he would go, oh, we could do this, and he sang something about it, was like, done, finished. He makes it super easy because he's so, it really just flows with that guy.
Wow. I'm so pleased to hear that, man. Like, it's a collective sort of sit down and all your ideas, and it evolves into a band song. That's
it really has to. Everyone needs, you guys know, when you're working on something, you gotta put your stamp on it, or else you're not going to be, it's not going to be, it's not going to mean as much to you. You put your stamp on it, even if it was Ronnie's song and you and I put our thing on it, we're going to put our best foot forward on it, and hopefully it'll become a better song because of it. And then we all have some investment into that song, and then once you get that song done, you start working on the next one. You start to realize, hey, we don't even know which songs are going to make the record, so that the producer's going to get involved in that, and we just you have to be open in this situation. You got to be open to, if a song makes it or not, or if your song gets finished written or not. It doesn't matter, as long as you're moving forward in the right direction together, then that's all that matters.
100%. A wonderful way to put it, man. I totally agree. It's all about the feels.
Yeah, absolutely. So we had a blast. We went to we got Glenn in. We went into a studio in LA called Sunset Sound, really famous studio. And we started to do some demos there I guess August of 19. And then we started to compile our own ideas. And I went to Glenn's house and helped him make kind of proper demos of some of his stuff that he wanted to put to the band. And I gotta say, so I go down to his place and he's going, okay, so here's how this song goes. And he's showing me. I'm like, well, instead of you showing me how to do this, it'd be faster if you just play it and I'll record you. So I'd get a click track up for him, like, we do, Ronnie. And then he would put down the riff, and then he'd have like 8 bars of it. So then I'd say, okay, we'll double that. And then he'd double it. And then he'd do the next part, and then maybe a verse, and then a hook. And you go, oh, in the solo section, I'm not really sure. Do you like this, or do you like that? I'm like, that's cool. Put that down. And then we'd have these chunks, and we'd kind of arrange it together. And we had I just put a really simple drum beat, doing really simple. I know he's a drummer. He hates it when guitar players put these drum beats, because it's like you can't play the cymbal and the snare and the kick drum all at the same time. It's like, yeah, look, it works. It's like, no, it doesn't work. Yeah. But we did our best, but the thing that came out of all that, this long-winded story, was that Glenn plays in a really cool way. The guitars were a little out of tune and out of time, but I didn't care. He said, can you go home and re-record them so it sounds better for the guys? I go, I will do, but I got to suss it out first, because you're doing some things that are really making it happen. And it's just between 2 chords, the way that he would struck it, or the way that he would put a gliss in between, it made it special. So I wanted to cop that before, fixing them or whatever. So I basically fixed them a little bit and left his on one side so that I could keep referring to it, because it really had a great vibe. And then once I got that, then I could make suggestions like, hey, why don't we try it like this, or try it like that? And then when it came to lyrics, I think Glenn did an amazing job on the record. His lyrics really open up imagination for the listener, and I really dig it. Like Holy Ground, for example, the title track, I don't even know what it's about, but I decided what it's about for me because he left it open. So I'm saying that Holy Ground is my soul, is my family. That's the most important thing to me. That's my holy ground.
Yeah, man. Yeah, me and Shane had a chat about this the other day. We found it very movie track, that especially Unspoken and Holy Ground. But Holy Ground for me is very like a James Bond movie track. It just sounds really, it's massive. Like, do you know what I mean?
That's cool.
Yeah, we were really digging it, like all the parts and the melodies that Glenn does as well.
Yeah.
So that's cool to hear how that process kind of happens and the layering, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Holy Ground. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Shane.
No, I just love the I don't want to talk over it, but the part you said, I wanted to keep the bit that Glenn was doing in between chords. Like, we work with producers and stuff, and they want it, down, it's got to be this to the click, and it's got to be in time. It's those little nuances, dude. That's the magic. And I love the fact that you got, no, that we keep in that. That's
yeah. Well, eventually we did, we recorded everything, but I wanted to cop what he was doing. I wanted to suss out what he was doing, because it really had a real 70s vibe to it. It was really cool, and also the way David plays is a very innocent, brash. He doesn't really think about it. He just plays and hammers it. He's not looking to do anything super slick. He just wants an attitude, and that really helps with the vibe of the band as well. So it doesn't get too polished sounding. We keep it rough and ready.
Yeah.
But yeah, Glenn really shined on the record. Dino played great. So we started in Sunset Sound, and Glenn sat down on an acoustic guitar and showed us the basic elements of Holy Ground, what he had in mind. And we cut it, and it sounded good, but we were all kind of, it was the first song that we recorded together, and as a demo, and we didn't really take it far enough, each of us. We kind of just followed exactly, what the way he showed us. And so we weren't even sure if that song was going to make the record, but we decided to revisit it. And then we all kind of, by that time, we were comfortable with each other, and we decided, let's slow it down a little bit, let's simplify it a little bit. And then from my perspective, I wanted to make a couple of suggestions, changes in terms of, how it could really have more dynamics and stuff. And it turned out great. And it originally it's called Holy Ground, Shake the Memory. Originally, Glenn called it Shake the Memory, which is a great title too. You think of it, you're like, shake the memory. What does that mean? It's like, yeah, when your memory gets logged and you shake your memory and then you remember something. But Holy Ground is a visual that is really strong. And so we decided to use that as well. But the song turned out great. Unspoken is another song that Glenn brought in, and we daisified it. But it has a couple of signature Glenn things to it. And then other songs that we worked on together that were maybe a little bit different once Glenn put his melody on top, or a song that maybe David brought in, or a song that I brought in. Once Glenn had his way with it, with the melody, it became this new sound that we've got, which I think it's heavily influenced by Glenn, but it's also a mix of Daisies with the three of us coming from the old lineup. And so you've got this kind of, is basically like a new sound, like when Glenn and Coverdale came into Deep Purple, you got Mark III, and then this is the same thing. It's like a new change with Glenn coming in. This is now the Dead Daisies Mark IV kind of thing, So we're really excited about it.
Do you ever hear Glenn hit a bad note? The man is incredible. He's just...
Well, that's why he wanted me to fix the guitars that were a little out of tune, because he's got like this perfect ear. So every time he'd hear it, it would kind of, it bends his ear a little bit, Yeah. And he's got perfect pitch. I don't even think he's one of those crazy talented people, like God-given, like he doesn't even have to really necessarily hear himself so well. He just muscle memory hits the notes proper. It's really bizarre. But he is he's singing his ass off. He did a great job on the record, and I think it's a good I think it's good for his fans will dig it because it's not exactly like his solo stuff. It's not exactly like BBC. It's definitely, you know, got some changes to it. And it's the first time Glenn's worked with two guitar players, which is going to be pretty cool for him. You know, we'll have lay down this big fat bed for him on stage, and then he can. And let's not leave out his bass playing too. It's stellar.
Yeah, good God.
He's a monster.
Yeah, and it's wicked. Like I was watching a video with him playing the other day. I think he was doing a run through. And it was really cool for me as well as a drummer. I was looking at how he plays, plus he's holding those melody lines as well. And that, because there's a lot of different styles to bass players when they sing as well. Some of them kind of lean back on the bass and they'll let the melody flow. But with Glenn, it was like, it was all that soul and the catchy, the melodies. And plus the bass playing was so, I don't know, it was just there in the pocket. Like, you know, I was just like, whoa,
you know,
that's...
I'll tell you exactly what happened. It was we wanted to do these playthroughs for social media, you know, so people would have something to check out, something fresh. You know, I'll be honest, Glenn, you know, wouldn't normally do something like that, but we all were asked to do that so that we could have this content. So Glenn goes, well, I can't mime to the track. I'm just not going to do that. And I get it. I didn't want to do that either. So what I was able to do is get the track from the studio and remove whoever it was that was doing the playthrough, remove that part. So I'd go to Glenn's house with the tracks on a little mini Pro Tools rig and remove the bass and then get him a nice bass sound and then crank it way the hell up. So it was way on top of the mix and it sounded killer, man. The bass up. And then he goes, well, I don't remember exactly what I played on this part. I go, don't worry about it. Just play whatever you want. Because Glenn's one of those guys where he never plays exactly the same thing twice. He never sings it exactly the same twice. He's got to feel it. So it's going to be different every time, you know? And so he would play every bass time he went through it. It was killer. He'd be like, I messed up on that. I was like, dude, what are you talking about? That was fucking badass, you know? And, so we just get one to where he felt like, was good enough, you know, and it would be like amazing. And with the bass up, it was super cool because the bass has got a little grind on it. Yeah. And you're right. He's as a drummer, it would be probably really fun to play with Glenn Hughes.
Yeah, it was so in the pocket, and it was like it had a real punk rock essence to it as well, like, you know, which I've seen a lot of Glenn's bass playing because we've watched him live as well. But it just brought out a different side, and I was like, whoa, there's a real, because I haven't seen him do that, or maybe it is out there, I just haven't seen that kind of content. It was really cool because I could zone in on what he was playing. I could really nerd in like the vibe he was playing to it, and the sound, exactly like you said. I love the sound, the grittiness of the bass.
Well, it's super bass up in the mix, and it sounded great.
Yeah, really cool. And then there was a real appreciation then, because Shane will tell you I love listening to vocalists and that. So I'm obviously listening to the top line and everything he would sing, and I'm thinking, whoa, he's playing all of that while he's singing as well. It's just a real appreciation for it, like, you know. It was amazing. Fair play.
Well, I'll tell him that you said that. No, actually, I'm going to tell him that you guys said it was shite.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. No, have I been benched? No, I'm benched. Let me in the match. It's so funny, man.
We're devastated, mate, because a lot of the fans know anyway. We were obviously going to meet you in the next 3 weeks, something like that. We were obviously destined to it's been a couple of times now to actually hit Europe with you, and that was how this was supposed to happen, and kind of like us going, hey, how's it going, Doug, and kind of chatting to you guys. But it's great with technology, we still get to do it in some form, like, you know. So
yeah, and you guys are definitely entertaining. You don't need me. You guys got your own connection already going. It's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Got it down.
Thank you, man.
But
we were super hyped to go on the road with you guys, and you know, it will happen, no doubt, at some point. But because for us, you know, as I've said before, you know, you guys are kind of next level musicians. You've been there, you've done it, you know. And for me, as a vocalist, I think it was going to be the first time I was going to be on tour and just think, wow, I'm up against Glenn Hughes here. This is next level. But having said that, like all you guys, like Dean's voice on
man,
what a voice Dean has got.
Yeah, especially when he sings in the melodic kind of Journey-esque type of thing. He's just like, I mean, when he sings those Journey songs,
yeah,
it's like he really has that Steve Perry thing. It's like, it's amazing. That stuff's not easy too. He's got a super bulletproof voice, Dino.
Yeah, amazing.
You never see him. He's like, yeah. He's like got a lot of energy and stuff. And he's like, whatever. I can't remember the lyrics. Someday love will. He's like, wait. Someday. It's like he just clears his throat and just goes for it. It's like there's no warm up. He doesn't. He might go me. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go. He's got so much energy, but yeah, his voice is very. He's also got great pitch, and his tone has got that nice raspy thing to it.
Yeah. I heard him do a cover of Rod Stewart. I think it was a Rod Stewart on one of your live shows. I think it was last year or the year before. I was blown away.
He was doing Maggie May because he really had that thing down so good. It's just natural for him. But yeah, I love when he's singing melodically because he really shines with that.
Yeah, man.
I've been very lucky working with singers. Working with him and Ronnie and David and John Corabi. I love John. He was amazing, and in the band, he's an amazing singer. So yeah,
incredible dude. But let's talk about Doug for a minute.
Yeah.
Incredible musician, incredible career to date. Where did it all start for you, Doug? What was the first sort of music you heard? What was the spark that made Doug pick up the guitar and want to jam in a band?
Well, basically, I'm older than you guys. When I was growing up, it wasn't. I don't know what you guys had when you were kids as far as distraction, but for me, it was like riding bikes and doing stuff that was outdoors a lot, sports and stuff.
Yeah.
Skateboards started to kind of become popular. I was around when they came out with those rubber wheels for the first time. I remember that. It was like, whoa, I got to get those, But one summer, all my buddies were gone, and there was nothing to do. I mean, it was like TV wasn't, there was only a few channels of TV. So my sister had a classical guitar, and that's what I did. I picked it up. It had some chords, and I learned them, and it was great. It just made me feel so good to hear that sound, and it was like a puzzle, trying to figure out how to play. And eventually, I got a really cheap department store guitar with a little baby amp and electric, and I learned what my version of Smoke on the Water would be, and my version of Purple Haze. That was the stuff that was on the radio,
Yeah.
So, but I also loved the pop stuff that was in the 70s that was on the radio. I didn't have a record player. My older sister had a record player, and my younger sister had one too, and they both had records that were really cool. My older sister had a Jeff Beck record called Blow by Blow, and I saw the cover, and I was like, I had a Les Paul copy, and he was playing a 54 Les Paul on the cover, and I listened to that record with headphones, and I was just like, wow, that's insane. When he makes that guitar, he doesn't need any vocals. He can make the guitar talk, And my younger sister had Kiss Alive, the live album of Kiss. I listened to that with headphones, and it was like, that's what a concert's like. I had never been to a concert yet, So, but eventually I just found myself being drawn to guitar players and watching the guitarists and watching their fingers. And then little by little, my friend would show me a bar chord or how to bend a note or whatever. And I just, I loved it, man. It was like constantly learning new stuff, and it was exciting every time he did, and eventually my older sister was dating a guy that had a real Gibson Les Paul, and he said, hey, if you want, I'm going to sell that guitar. I don't know what he wanted to get, a car or something. And he goes, $300. And I'm like, oh man, that's a lot of money. So I earned about $100, and then I borrowed the rest from my mom and my dad, and went to his house, gave him the money. I opened the case. And first thing I wanted to do was look at the headstock and go, "Whoa, it says Gibson. Wow, that's amazing."
Yes.
And then I looked down at it, and it was this color, and I'm like, "Wait a minute. I thought you said it was a gold top, like how Jimmy Page played." He goes, "No, that's a sunburst. This is a gold top. That's called a sunburst." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I want it. It's a Gibson." And it turns out that, and I thought it was ugly actually, but it turns out it's to me, the most beautiful Les Paul color that they make is the gold top. And I just, it's like, I still remember all these days when I'd be, maybe after school, I'd go in my room and, try to learn something and listen to a record and go, how the hell is that guy doing that? And then I'd happen to hit something and be like, wait, that sounds like that part. And then I'd try and figure it out. And it was just, it's never ending. I'm still trying to figure it out.
So are you self-taught? You didn't have a teacher as such? You just picked it up by ear?
I did, for the most part. I did try to take it. I took a couple lessons from one guy when I first had the department store guitar, and I had it in a cardboard box with a towel inside. That was my case. Put a red towel. And he wasn't like a nice guy. He kind of made some comments about my guitar, and it was difficult to play. It was like, it had high action and the frets were kind of sharp. So I just didn't hit it off with this guy. He was kind of like, well, there's three kinds of guitar players. You got a rhythm guitar player, and then you got a lead guitar player, and you got a guy like me that can do both, like this. And I'm like, all right, this guy's a bit of a wanker. Even at that age, I'm 11 years old. I'm thinking this guy's a wanker. I didn't even know the word yet. But we didn't hit it off. So I was then self-taught for a while, and then I was going to this music store by my house, and I saw this guy, and he looked really cool. He had long hair, black hair, curly, and I was like, "This guy looks like Paul Stanley." And I was like, "What is that guy? He's a guitar teacher." Maybe it is Paul Stanley. So I got a couple lessons from that guy. He was really nice. I thought for a minute, maybe it is Paul Stanley. He's got the same hair as Paul, and he kind of looks like him. And we've never actually seen Paul's face, so maybe I'm taking lessons from Paul Stanley. Turns out it was not Paul Stanley. but I did a couple lessons with him, and then I got more out of learning stuff from friends, like maybe one of my buddies, we formed this band, me and these two other guys in the neighborhood. We were called Purple Haze, and we jam on Purple Haze and Smoke on the Water for hours and hours. And then this guy's older brother came, and he showed us some chords to an Allman Brothers song in memory of Elizabeth Reed. And we'd play those chords, like two chords, and he would just sit there and solo and wail on top of it. And we played those two chords for probably, I would say 3 or 4 hours at one point, just going, and he would just wail, and it sounded so cool to make that music together, Eventually, I moved away and whatever, and found new friends that were musicians, and then started learning more and more and more. And basically on weekends, before I got a driver's license, I'd get my mom to drop me off at my friend's place. He and his brother, he was a bass player and his brother was a drummer, and we would just learn songs all weekend and just full on woodshedding until I got out of high school, and then I came to California. So it's an ongoing thing, like George Lynch will say, you're always chasing that next level. You're always chasing your tone. Even if your tone never changes, you're still trying to make it better,
Yeah.
100%.
I get that. Where did it start going serious for you, Doug? Where did it become more of a reality that you were doing it as a profession, it
hasn't hit me yet. I'm still trying to figure it out.
I love that.
Basically, no, I mean, it's the same for everybody, really. It's like, I'm so blessed to do this, to be able to play guitar and have a family and be able to, it's not the most expensive food, but it can still put some on the table. Yeah. And I love it. I absolutely I love guitar, and there's so many great players, even new players coming out right now that are just kicking ass. You know, that are really inspiring. I think, you know, some people will say rock is dead or whatever, but I think it's still going. And you know, it's just that now with the industry, it's changed so much with the internet and the streaming and all that stuff. We have to change a little bit how we do things. But to give you an honest answer to your question, I would say probably I came to LA and I started to play lead guitar. Prior to that was more of a rhythm guitar player.
Yeah.
And I was fine with that. You know, I love the sound of those rhythms that you'd hear from Zeppelin, Deep Purple, Hendrix, whatever, you know, Black Sabbath. But then I started to become more of a lead player by default, because I was the only guitar player in my first band out in California, and started playing gigs, and started to meet some kids as well that were that wanted to learn how to play guitar. Like one or two guys I met and was like, hey, can you know, would you ever do lessons or whatever? So I'd come over to my flat and I started doing lessons, and then I decided this is really cool. I made a couple bucks, you know, and so I went to a music store and I started asking them if I could teach. And during this period was like, there were a few schools around that area that every kid wanted to play guitar at that time. It was like, and I ended up getting so many students, and I was learning at the same time as I was teaching, and I was making money. So I was like, okay, this is actually feed myself by playing guitar. And, you know, and then it went from there to first record deal to first tour, then going back and, you know, teaching some more on the side, but then little by little, you know, getting to the point where recording and touring became a thing. And then I took a break for a while in the 90s from being in a solid band that was working all the time, and really I did a couple solo things, but really learned technology about like home recording. Remember, did you guys ever hear of ADAT?
Yeah,
ADAT
man.
tapes?
Yeah, that's how we started. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the first thing I learned. I was really, you know, learning about recording, and it was great, you know. So I took some time and did that, and I recorded everybody from, you know, female pop girls to like hardcore rappers. You know, it'd be like in this very room, I had like a whole bunch of rappers in here, and they're all doing, you know, writing their lyrics, and then the guy would step up to the mic and do his rap, and then who's next? It'd be like, this guy comes up, he's got his lyrics, he's just rapping it, and then he'd do this rap, and then he'd double it, and it was like, that's amazing, you know. And so I learned all kinds of stuff just at that point, until finally I had some side band stuff going with some friends, but I ended up getting the offer to join Ronnie's band, and that's what put me out there.
Yeah.
I had no idea about all that, dude. That's incredible. You did the whole sort of recording side of things. That's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, well, I really. So what happened is I had a record company in Japan that gave me a little bit of money to make a solo record, and instead of giving that to the studio, I just like we all have done, we bought the gear. You know, I bought the ADAT tape, and then I bought a second one, so I had 16 tracks. And I had done some sessions with Andy Johns. You know, he's not with us anymore, but Andy he had worked on some Zeppelin stuff, and in the 80s had done a bunch of bands like Cinderella. He even actually was a tape operator for Hendrix at one point. And I worked with him on a record called House of Lords Sahara, and he and I just hit it off. He was British producer, just really inspiring to me, and he really liked me, and I loved him. He was a great dude. And so I asked him if he'd co-produce it with me, and so he taught me a bunch, you know, during that period. He'd come over to the house, and, you know, and we'd just record and get creative, you know, musically, and he taught me like how to, you know, I didn't know how to do anything in the beginning. So I'm grateful for him having taught me that stuff, and other people as well. And so the studio isn't like so much of a mystery anymore. So it's like I can be helpful.
Love that. I love that. Was that before the Whitesnake? Like
Yeah,
transition? That was
yeah,
all
yeah. It was,
before that.
yeah, it was in like around 93. Was 94 was when that came out, and then I did another one in 95.
Yeah.
And it was mostly for a Japanese label. Those two solo records, but it had some pretty cool stuff. And I had been introduced to Ronnie Dio back when I had my first real band that got a record deal in Los Angeles. This band called Lion, and we were kind of nobody signed us. We weren't like a typical Hollywood band. We had a singer from the UK. He was actually Scottish, and we were more influenced by bands like Whitesnake. He turned me on to early Whitesnake, and he was in one of the new wave of British heavy metal bands called Titan, is where he came from, named Cal Swan. And so we weren't the first round of bands getting signed. We weren't the second round. We were like the third or fourth round, around the time Guns N' Roses and all that stuff was happening. And we signed a bad deal and we couldn't get off it. But I wanted to stay with that band. I wanted to make it with them. But so Grover Jackson, the guitarist, said, "Hey, Doug, Ronnie James Dio is looking for a guitar player. Do you have a tape that you want to give me and I'll pass it on?" And I did. And they called me back to come play with the band. And we went to the pub and had a drink, and then we went and played. And he goes, "That's it. You got the gig." And I'm like, whoa, hang on. I got a band. I got to figure this out. And I just basically, I respectfully declined the offer because I really wanted my band to make it. I didn't want to be a sideman yet, or join a band that wasn't mine, But eventually that band broke up. And when I got the opportunity about 10 years later to join Ronnie's band again, I took it. And we went to a pub for a meeting, and he goes, "Hey, Doug, I want you to maybe play a couple solos on your, my new record." And I'm like, "No, I don't want to do it." He goes, "Well, what do you want?" I go, I want to be in the band. I want to play all the parts. I want to do everything." He goes, "Okay, you start tomorrow." So we went to the studio the next day, and I started recording. We wrote a couple of things for that record. It was called "Killing the Dragon," and we toured a ton on that record. And then eventually, it was funny. We were on tour with the Scorpions and Deep Purple, and Ronnie was opening. We had an hour-long set, which was great for an opening act. But of course, Ronnie's a legend, and he's friends with Scorpions and Purple and all that. So they gave us a good slot. And by the end of the show, the places would be packed. We'd be doing Heaven and Hell, Rainbow in the Dark, Holy Diver. And eventually, Deep Purple guys said that Scorpions came to us and said that David Coverdale was going to put back Whitesnake together. And this is around 2002. And that, would Ronnie want to support co-headline Scorpions, Whitesnake, and John Sykes was coming back. And me and Jimmy Bain were like, "That sounds awesome." And Ronnie goes, "Nope. We're going in." We were getting used to this, like these outdoor arenas and stuff, and like the nice backstage spread, the food, catering, all this stuff was like, we were so spoiled. And we're like, "Another tour like that? Yeah, that sounds great." And Ronnie's like, "Nope, we're going to make a record." And I was really excited about Sykes coming back. And then I got a message from the lighting director at Deep Purple saying that David Coverdale had been watching me. And I'm like, I wonder why, it's weird. And then I got a call from David, and he said, "I'm doing a 2-month run with the Scorpions. That's it. I would like you to play guitar." And I said, "But David, you got Sykes. Why would you, you don't need me. I mean, I'm lead guitar player with Ronnie. So that's not really." He goes, No, I'm not going to, I decided that I'm going to do it with other people, and I'd like you to play guitar. And I was like, "So, okay." So I said, I'll talk to Ronnie, and we put it together, and it was 2 months that turned into a lot longer, and a lot of music we wrote and produced together. I'm super thankful for that opportunity, because I learned so much from Ronnie and from David. It was amazing.
That's what I was going to say, Doug. I mean, they're two icons. They're completely cemented in history. What's the young you think of that, innit? Where you're like, whoa, you're there, like, you're choosing between two worlds with it almost. It's like, I'm just gonna. Do you mind, Ronnie, if I pop over with David? It's incredible, man. That's
I know.
absolutely
I can't
outstanding.
even believe it. And now with Glenn, you know, it's like Ronnie for me was the greatest heavy metal. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, Rob Halford he's up. Bruce Dickinson, all these guys. There's so many. They're all the best. But Ronnie, in my heart, was the guy. He was the best heavy metal singer ever, you know. And David is like the heavy blues rock lead front man. He was the best at that. Like you could put it, like somebody would go, well, what about Steven Tyler? And I'd be like, I love Steven. He's fucking amazing. I saw him play when I was a kid, but I'm gonna go with Coverdale. That's just me. And I feel the same way about Glenn. He's the voice of rock. He's an inspiration. That music comes down from heaven and goes right into his head and out his fingers and out his mouth. It's just like, so if somebody told me back when I was listening to like On Stage by Rainbow or you know, Stormbringer, that had worked with these guys and like, hey Doug, I guess I don't know how old I was, 13 or 14 at that time. If somebody said, hey, in 20 years or 30 years, you're going to have worked with all those guys, I would be like, you're fucking out of your mind. Like, no way, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think I've just taken a step forward every day, and who knows what's around the corner. And that's something I would say to anybody. Like, you never know what happens tomorrow. Cause I was in my 30s when I joined Ronnie's band, you know? So, I'm a late bloomer, but it's another interesting thing is that when I thought about it, when I was working with Ronnie, I'm like, this guy's worked with Richie Blackmore. And then David's worked with Richie Blackmore, and Glenn's worked with Richie Blackmore, and Jimmy Bain's worked with Richie Blackmore. I mean, it's like all of these, under the umbrella of Blackmore is like so many amazing musicians. And so I'm proud to be one.
Incredible. Was it ever in a moment where you were like, I don't know, you a rabbit in the headlights? Because, you know, playing with these bands, was there ever a moment of nervousness before a gig, a big show, a big sort of arena? Yeah. There's been a couple. There would be like Download was definitely, that was like waiting for our turn, hearing the audience the way that it was. And I forget who headlined that day. It might have been Def Leppard or somebody, but we were right before him, and sun was coming down. That was just like, at first I thought that's a long ways to fall if I fall off the front, you know. And then, but I think I had a lot of those moments more with Ronnie, you know, like first time playing a festival, you know, outside. We did, you know, where we were headliners. That was, and there was a little, like I had a little bit of a rough time at the beginning of Dio because, you know, people loved Vivian, people loved Craig, and I had to win some people over, you know. And there were a couple times when, you know, Ronnie is known for this really heavy, mean music, and here's this, you know, blonde guy from California. It's not like maybe the perfect fit, but I was able to, you know, for the most part, get people to respect me and respect that I was trying to do good for Ronnie, and they came around. But yeah, I definitely had some moments like that that were you know, like the one that was just brutal was our first. We rehearsed for like 6 months to prepare for this tour with Deep Purple and Scorpions. Sorry, 6 weeks we rehearsed, and every day running through the set, getting super tight, and it was just like, it was the greatest because we were all there. It was like a family, you know, the Dio band, and we were so tight. We were ready. Go to the first show, and Ronnie had wanted me to use a wireless because he didn't want to trip over a chord or whatever. Even though I knew it even back then that the chord sounded better, the lead sounded better than the wireless at that time. But he didn't want to. I didn't want to take a chance of tripping him up or whatever, so I did it. But the first show it was in Las Vegas at a big arena,
and we go out on stage, and the intro of Killing the Dragons going off, and Simon's hitting the hi-hat, bam, bam, bam. Oh, I'm supposed to go into the riff, and there's nothing. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck? This is like, this is you got your pants down, you got your balls swinging, you're so embarrassing. Meanwhile, he keeps going. This is a pro band. This is my first time in this situation where, you're not stopping. You've got a set list. You got to stick to it. You got a time frame to stick to it. There's no time to stop and go, wait a minute, let the guitar player sort out his stupid gear, My guitar, my wireless broke or something, and it was my guitar tech just didn't maybe have it set on right or something. And finally, they went through the whole entire song without me. Finally, in the second song, I got a lead and went straight into the amp just to get rid of any issues. But by that time, my heart was broken because it was my first. I don't remember that gig very well because I just couldn't believe that I did that to Ronnie. The first song, it was like guitar went down, and we had a few problems. We had a few problems on that tour with my guitar tech and Ronnie. And I was going, Ronnie, I'm really sorry. I'm going to get this sorted out with the guy. And he goes, Doug, do you want me to tell you what Richie Blackmore would do? And yeah, what would Richie do? And he goes, he would fire him directly. And I said, I've never fired anybody. I said, you think I should do that? And he goes, I'm going to leave that up to you. And so I gave the guy one more chance, and it didn't go well. So I said, listen, you got to. I realized that Ronnie had not worked this hard to be on stage and having problems. He did not deserve that. So I took the initiative and fired the guy in a kind way, and got somebody else. And then we were cool, and we played all year long. It was great. And then I went back, and when Whitesnake was off the road a couple times, I went back and filled in for Craig, and we did a couple of DVDs together. It was great.
That's awesome. I could listen to you all night doing about these stories. But we had your friend and colleague, I guess, Marco Mendoza on a few weeks back. What a wonderful soul Marco is. But we've
the best.
Oh, he's amazing, dude. But we listened to a podcast of him years back, and he was talking about how he progressed and as a musician, and he was just like, you got to play with more cats, man. You just got to play with more people. Was it a case of your game? Every massive band you were playing with, was your game getting stronger and stronger as a guitarist because you were with these super musicians?
Well, it's definitely inspiring. But after my time with Ron, I was confident already when I joined Ronnie's band. I definitely felt good about my playing and stuff. But Ronnie helped me bring it to a higher level, and he brought better out of me, and he gave me the experience that I could never get elsewhere, being on these stages and standing back a little bit and watching him, what he did and his confidence. Like, for me, he had the confidence of only a few people I've ever seen have this, like Stevie Ray Vaughan. There's no fear. This guy wouldn't be afraid if he's playing guitar and a freight train's coming at him. It doesn't matter. My guitar playing is going to slice you right in half. Yeah. That's how Stevie Ray felt like, and that's how Ronnie was. No fear, and it gives you confidence. And when Ronnie says, I'm going to give you, you have to do a guitar solo. It's not that I wanted to do one. Ronnie said, you have to. I need a break, for a minute, or 5 or 10, depending on whatever. 2, good time to go have a piss, get a beer, but Ronnie wanted that. And he made me better and better in designing a solo that would at least keep the guitar players entertained, And then by the time I went with Whitesnake, I was like, I felt like I was a good fit. Like, I love John Sykes, I love Bernie Marsden, I love Adrian Vandenberg, but I'm me, and I got my own shoes, so I'm gonna be fine. But then there'd be times when, maybe I'd be on stage with David and I could tell he was pissed off at me about something. Maybe it was just one time. David and I got on, we still do. He's like my big bro, like Glenn. And but there was one time we were on stage and we had to change the set, and it meant that and he asked me, he goes, "Can we do this?" I'm like, "Yeah, why not? We could do it. It'll be fine." But I forgot that there was a guitar change between those songs. Me and Reb had to change songs, and he was out, and he wanted to do a segue into the next song, as we do sometimes, but it wasn't possible because there was a guitar change. And so he's out at the end of this thrust. It was at Grass Pop Meeting Festival in Belgium.
Yeah.
And he's got his mic stand up like this, and he's waiting for the song to start, and we're changing guitars, and he turns around and he was pissed, man. He's like, "That was supposed to be a segue," and I was like, "I'm so sorry, man." You know, that was a butterfly situation where the boss is like, really, like, you let him down. But overall, I've been really lucky, and I've had a great time. And now the Daisies, we've got this record coming out next week, and we can't wait to come play for everybody and come play and tour with you guys, and whatever happens, you know, we will do it together as soon as possible.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Definitely, mate. Was there any opportunities that, like, you kind of wish that you would have pursued but you couldn't at that period of your time, or any bands that you would have loved to have joined but sadly didn't kind of match up at that point of time as well? Or
not really. I mean, you know, I just, like I said, I wanted my first band to work out, and I once that went south, then I realized that the business was going to be different for me. You know, it wasn't going to be like I wasn't going to be in Led Zeppelin or the Rolling Stones. It was a band from the start, and then it was a band to the finish. It was going to be different. But during that period, there was a lot of that going on. People joining established bands sometimes, and joining Dio and then Whitesnake, I couldn't be happier. Whitesnake, my band Lion, was like a junior. We were like I don't want to say wannabe, because we had a little bit of Thin Lizzy influence, a little bit of Status Quo, a little bit of AC/DC, a little bit of other stuff, and Whitesnake. So, and at that time in the US, Whitesnake wasn't even really that well known. It was in the early 80s, you know. But when I joined Whitesnake, I'm like, there was a reason that I worked in that band, and why I met Cal Swan, the singer, because I've got this background now of Whitesnake that a lot of people didn't know about in the States. They only knew about the Slide It In record onwards. So it was cool.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And how did you come to meet, like, David and the guys with the Dead Daisies? What was the?
I had in 2013, I went through a breakup of my marriage, and then we had a little boy and I was gone all the time with Whitesnake. David and I were always working, writing, and we were touring a lot. And we got to the end of 2000. I had already been separated with my ex, and she was taking care of my son at home, and David had got a tour extended. We were going to South America with Aerosmith, and so I told her, I go, "Look, I'm not going to be home for another month." She was upset. So I go, "Look, when I come home, I'm going to take over, and you can do it. You can clear your head." She was a good person, and I just left her alone too long, and our relationship, it just fell apart, you know. And but I got home, and I wanted to be with my boy, and then I took this gig in Vegas where I was playing with Howard Lees from Heart, and Jay Shellen from Hurricane, and Hugh McDonald from Bon Jovi, a bunch of guys, Robin McCauley, and it was a great gig. I could have my gear all set up, play a show, and get a babysitter, and then go back to my room and be with my son, you know. And eventually David wanted to work on the Purple record, and I started to go up there a couple of days a week, and he wanted me back to being full time, and I couldn't do it. So we amicably parted ways, and he got a great guitar player in Joel Hoekstra, and Reb was still there. Tommy was still there. And so those guys were set, but I was off the road, and I was doing this Vegas gig, and it just started to burn me out, you know. And I loved being with my boy, but so I get a call from Glenn Hughes going, "Hey, I'm doing this tour, and it's just going to be like a trapeze type of thing, just 3-piece. you want to go on the road? And I'm like, yeah. Let's go. So we did a little tour of South America and a tour of Europe, and I had a blast. And during that time, the Dead Daisies called me and said that Richard Fortus was going to leave and go back to Guns N' Roses, and would I want to make a record with them and join the band? And I was like, this is perfect. These are all my bros. There's Brian Tichy on drums, and Marco Mendoza, and John Crosby, who I knew since we were in grade school. We grew up in Philadelphia together. And then David Lowy and I spoke on the phone, and I had been familiar with them because I saw, with how well they had done with the Revolution record. And he said, "What do you think, Doug? Do you think our styles will work out together?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, why not? I mean, you're." He goes, "I'm strictly rhythm, and we need you to play, rhythm and lead." And I said, "Yeah, I would love to. I think it would work out great. And by the way, starting on a fresh album makes it more appealing, And he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna, we had Dizzy and Richard, but we're gonna kind of can't really replace Dizzy Reed. You can't really replace anybody, because Dizzy does a thing that's very unique. He's a special player, and so he didn't want to get another keyboard player. He wanted to feature more guitars." And I was like, "Cool, that sounds great." So we kicked it off in the beginning of 2016, and it really is. It was a super fun band, and it still is. I learned so much by working with those other guys that I've been able to drop my guard and just kind of let things kind of ride and just try to bring things to the band that are helpful. And so then the band, they told me in the beginning, it's like, this band is set up kind of in the way like Deep Purple, where people would come and go in the beginning, and then it kind of locked into a formation for a minute, and then somebody leaves and somebody else comes in, and it's always been friends. It was Dean that came in, and then now Glenn came in, and Glenn was a big thing because he's Glenn. So we're very excited. We're very excited about it. We can't wait to get out there.
Marco said that to us on the show. He said there's a lot of love still for the Dead Daisies, and he knew, it's just that transition. Obviously, Glenn's an incredible bass player and the voice and everything, but doesn't mean that Marco might not be a part of it down the line. So, and he kind of explained that about the Dead Daisies family. It's just cool to always have that connection with you and with the other members and everything. So there was a lot of love, and I loved that. That was really cool to hear that, because that's, it wasn't just PR or just chatting on you. You could tell there was a genuine love for the music and the jams, as Shane said.
Marco is the funnest to tour with too, man. I never. It was the first time when we went to France to start recording the record, and it was the first time for a long time. And me and Marco have been in every airport around the world, and every time we go to an airport, because with Whitesnake or with the Dead Daisies, especially with the Dead Daisies, Marco and I traveled everywhere, and every time we'd go through, we'd get to the airport together, we'd check in, get our ticket, and we'd get through customs and the security, and then Marco would disappear, and I would always go to the lounge, have a beer, and relax, wait for the flight. Or go to the gate, wait for the flight. But Marco would always take off. He would go shopping every time. It's like, and you'd feel his case, and it was very light. It was like he didn't have much stuff. He would like start the tour with basically a few pairs of underwear and some running pants and like a pair of stage pants. By the end of the tour, his case was filled. He loved to shop at the airport. That was his thing. So when we got to the first time when I was traveling to France to join Glenn and the guys for the writing and recording, it was the first time I'd been to the airport in a long time without Marco, and I kept looking for him, and it wasn't there. And I texted him, I'm like, "Dude, I miss you, man." And he's like, "I know, but we got to do our thing, man." And he's like, "Slap a little butter on it, it'll be all right," And I'm like, that was his thing: slap a little butter on it, and everything will be all right. And so
is it?
So Marco's a giant. He's such a great singer, frontman, and he did Viva La Rock a few years back, and he's working on his another one after that.
Yeah.
And so we're really excited for Marco. But yeah, who knows? We might all tour together, or you never know, man.
You just never know, man. He's a beautiful human. I mean, after he did the show, he's kept in touch with us. Just really cool. You know, I'm looking forward to hooking up with him when he comes over next as well. Or vice versa if we come over to you, like, you know, it's which I have to ask as well, because our bass player is a massive Aerosmith fan, Lloyd. You said earlier you met Tyler, or you knew Tyler back in the day. What was it like touring with them? He would want to know that, definitely. I know that's a...
All right, well, so the background for me with the Aerosmith is I met Steven a couple times because of David Coverdale. He introduced me, and Jimmy Ayers, who is a Whitesnake tour manager, also was a tour manager for Aerosmith. So Steven, I met him a couple times, and he was always super nice. And I was like, "Hey, Steven, I met you once." He goes, "I know who you are." And I was like, "Okay, thank you. I just wanted to say hi. I didn't mean to, And he was full of energy, really super intelligent, like super on it. But my first time I was a kid going to a concert, it was the first rock show I'd ever been to. My first concert was the Beach Boys, which was, not super my bag, but it was a concert, and it was, now I love the Beach Boys. It's like, excuse me. They're really amazing musicians, and I love their music. But the first rock concert was Aerosmith, and in Philadelphia, they came on stage and they played Mama Kin, and they played Same Old Song and Dance, I remember. And they were Lord of the Sighs, I think. And during Mama Kin, somebody threw a bottle on stage, and it broke on stage and cut Steven, and they ran off the stage. And it turned out the year before, somebody threw an M80 firework on stage and hurt them. So it was just, they went away after 4 songs. I'm like, the lights came on. I'm like, what happened? And Joey Kramer came out and said, "Philadelphia, you fucking blow, man. We're never coming back here again. Fuck you," And so I was like, what happened? Because we were in the cheap seats way back. So I didn't realize something had been thrown on stage, but we left. And then I later saw Aerosmith in California and Joe Perry was gone by that time. So then meeting Steven a couple times, saw Aerosmith once during the 80s when they got back together with Joe. But then that Whitesnake tour was the first time really hanging out proper with Steven and seeing him backstage, how he was. It was so fun, and the guys were super nice. I kind of met him, different guys at different times, but I've never met Joe Perry. And I didn't want to meet him because I didn't want to bother him. He seemed like a real private guy, but it was the last show somewhere in Brazil, I think. And our bass player for Whitesnake, Michael Devin, was he was from Boston, and he's a huge Aerosmith fan. And he was like, "Man, it's weird. We've been on this tour for a couple of weeks and never see Joe ever. You see everybody else, but Joe would just basically, they kind of would come out of the ground into the stage. So there would always be like a way that they'd go into the stage and you'd never see him. He'd just pop up on stage and then he'd be gone." And I go, "All right, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go find Joe Perry. I'm going to go find him." So before the show, I go to his dressing room and I knock on the door, and his bodyguard is there, and I go, "Hey, I'm Doug from Whitesnake, and I was just wondering if I could say hi to Joe real quick. I didn't get a chance to meet him." And he asked Joe, and Joe said, "Yeah, come on in." So I come in, I meet Joe, and he's really nice. And I took a photo with him, and I go, "Joe, he goes, I'm not going to post this or anything." He goes, "Yeah, man, it's all right, whatever." And I go, "No, this is for me. This is because I'm a fan." And he goes, "It's cool." And he didn't smile or anything. He was just real serious. But he knew I was a fan, and so he was nice. But I left, and I go back in the dressing room, and I go to Michael Devin, and I walk, and I'm like, "I got the money shot. I got the money shot. I got it." And he was like, "What money shot?" I go, "Me and JP were just hanging out backstage in his dressing room." And he's like, "What?" I go, "Yeah, you want to meet him?" He goes, "Yeah." So I take Michael and I knock on the door and I go, "Hey, it's me again. Is there a chance I could get Michael Devin, our bass player? He's from Boston." So we go in, and and Michael was like, yeah, so cool, man. I got to know the area of Boston, but Gloucester or Worcester or whatever, some Chester. And Joe's like, yeah. And then I go, let me take a picture of you two Boston kids. And I get the camera ready, and there's Michael and Joe cracked a little pirate smile off the side. It's like that, you know? And I was like, dude, you got the pirate smile shot. That's like, you know, that's the shot. And he was really happy about that. But that was the only time I've ever met Joe, but he must be a really sweet guy, you know, super quiet.
Yeah.
And so, hey guys, I'd love to hang with you all day long. I actually had another engagement that I needed to go to in about half hour ago.
Of course.
So, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to wind it up, but I just want to say thank you for a great hang, and look forward to seeing you guys as soon as possible. You know, stay safe, and thank you for all you're doing for the Dead Daisies. We really appreciate it.
Doug, man, thank you so much for joining us.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, we've
All
had
right, guys.
you in the comments. Thank you so much, bud, for your time.
Thank you, guys. All the best to you, and thanks to your viewers and listeners and our friends. I'm sure I know a bunch of them, and we'll see you as soon as possible.
Amazing.
Legend.
Take care, Doug.
Right.
Take care,
Cheers,
Doug.
guys. All right, all the best. Cheers.
Bye.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely great. This man, I knew it was getting on. I was going to call it like 10 minutes ago, but he was just story after story. It's brilliant.
Yeah. And the thing was, when he said the Steven Tyler, I was like, oh man, I can imagine Lloyd coming on and going, oh, the Aerosmith. Do you know what I mean? So here we are. 2 seconds. Here's Lloyd. Shida. Dave. There we are, Lloyd. It was worth running over.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, nice
I just can imagine you coming on, dude. I haven't looked at my phone. I can see it beeping by you, and I'd send apologies to Doug's people as well. But it's I just imagine you going, oh man, what was the Steven Tyler stuff? Because he kind of just mentioned it, and when he said it, I was like, I can imagine you kind of pricking up at the time, going, whoa, what was that? What was that, Steven Tyler? Yeah. It's brilliant. Do you enjoy that, boys?
Yeah, loved it. Dude, he hasn't changed. He hasn't changed in like 20 years. Has he?
No, man. I think you're right, dude. You could argue that he got every right to be, you know, the bands and the musicians he's played with. He almost, he's like he's just humbled to be there, and what a lovely guy. So down to earth. Amazing.
Love it.
Yeah, there was just so many stories, but there, when Shane, it was like, for anyone thinking me and Shane didn't speak a lot, it was just a case of I didn't know where he was going to go, if that made sense. So it was kind of like, this is incredible. This is like, it's phenomenal. Do you know what I mean? And the fact of like, you know, you hear how he's kind of jamming as a kid in Purple Haze, and then the fact that he evolves and he starts jamming with his heroes, whether it be Glenn Hughes, whether it be David Coverdale, whether it be Ronnie James Dio. You're just like, wow. I've said it before, man. I kind of forget that I'm on you sometimes. You're just kind of backstage and you're in awe of like just somebody's achievements, their accolades, like, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was, bud. I didn't click on the comments. It was blank until halfway through the interview. And then I clicked on the comments. I could see all the love for Doug and the interview, and she said how nice he is, and questions. And I was like, there's people watching. Mad.
Yeah, I'll say the same. I'll echo that, Shane. I apologize to, I don't know how many comments are currently in this chat, which would probably be hundreds, but I haven't looked at one comment. I think when we came on, we did a few, and then I was so in awe of Doug and kind of his stories of like how he started, because there was a few things, but there genuinely I haven't heard in other interviews, so I was kind of like, whoa.
I absolutely loved his story on his first guitar tutor. He said there's 3 different types of guitarists. There's a rhythm, there's lead, and there's me who can do both. And he called him a wanker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, even though I'm a drummer, I've been in a band with so many guitarists, and you've all kind of said that story where you've had that, whether it be an awkward guitar teacher and stuff, or just somebody who didn't click or resonate with you, like, do you know what I mean? So I could kind of get where he's coming from there, like, do you know what I mean? But I just love that whole, like when we were younger and you kind of start off, and it's quite funny actually, because a few of the things he said I could really kind of click with the ADAT, and you remember those days, Shine, when we were kind of just jamming and trying to work out how to record. And it's just mad to think that when we were doing that, roughly, that's when Doug got into that side of the technology, so super, super cool.
So yeah,
Brilliant,
I remember our first ever demo I cut in 1997, I think it was you get it on an ADAT. They hand it to you on an ADAT, this little tape like that. Cheers, man. Thanks.
Yeah, man, I got one.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never used it. All I've done is press rewind on it. And it makes this hell of a noise when you press rewind. It's like, that's all I've done.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason they're still not about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you boys wouldn't have seen the comment. It was quite early when Doug was on. David Lloyd, did you see it going up? That guy's we had a spam comment.
Oh yeah, and then I think Steve Arnold told him where to go.
Yeah, it was quite entertaining. That was.
What was that?
Yeah.
I missed
Someone
that.
about HIV and the cure for it, or some sort. Or
some herbal remedy. 7 days you be cured. Fuck off, you prick.
Oh right, okay, random.
So,
Hey, we getting to that point where we're going to get spam now? Is it on the show?
yeah. So the admin sorted it out, I think.
Well, on admins, that's the way.
Well, yeah, and
Don't
another member
fuck
of
with the admins.
another member of the Crow football team.
Yes.
Another member of the Crow football team is shaping up quite nicely, but
Max and Mikey still in training, but
yeah, they are, man. Did you see that, boys, or any of you on a toilet break or anything?
I did see that. Yeah, I was commenting in the chat about it.
Yeah, definitely. I was really impressed with the CrossFit. That's incredible. That is. That's like I said, working really hard. But there's a lot of predictions as well of scores. But we'll see in it. Game of 2 halves. See Lloyd in it.
Right, we've got a brilliant youth side coming up.
I can picture our training for that match, like Cobra Kai training, in the old cement roller, and
I'm. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Is my microphone better now?
yes.
Yes.
I'm devastated. I think all that interview, I was coming through the Mac microphone, not this microphone.
it was fine.
You were super clear, dude. And to be honest, I didn't want to kind of say halfway through the interview because it just would have wrecked the mojo. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, you were super clear, Shane. So that everybody could hear you nice and clear and everything.
Damn it.
But yeah, now you can tell the microphone's on. Yes, all right.
It sounded absolutely fine.
Yeah, it was still really super clear. And the interaction was still there, man. And we've had worse days. Do you know what I mean, brother? We've had those those cut out interviews where it's like, oh no, what's going on?
Right there.
Oh, mate, I just had a strange fruit moment now, where when I was watching backstage when Doug was on about Aerosmith and it started cutting out, I was like, oh no, don't you dare! And then come back on.
Mine's been doing that all day, so
It's weird because I plugged the Ethernet in as soon as Doug come on, and then it started stuttering a bit. It was running off Wi-Fi earlier, and it was great.
Yeah, internet's a funny thing,
I'll unplug it by half, Dave.
But it's cool to find out those little things as well about Doug, like obviously coaching with his son's soccer team and stuff, and that was really cool. That was, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Just the little insights to, like I said, how they've been keeping, because I've been following them on the socials. There's a lot of guitarists tuning in tonight as well, so it was really good info for them. But yeah, I've been following them. It was really cool to see the guys get together, and they were able to do kind of what we did. They were able to do some rehearsing. They were able to kind of push things forward that little bit more under the conditions. They have got a record coming out. It's due to drop. It was postponed due to everything. The first couple of tracks are absolutely killer. Holy Ground and
Unspoken
as well. which
I'm
is a
really
track.
looking forward, man, to hearing the one bass line in brackets like no other. That's a track off it. I can't. I thought this instantly sounds tasty, like
Yeah, it's got to be in there.
yeah, especially with Glenn on the bass, like.
Yeah. Right, let's do some birthdays. Thank you for staying with us, Crow family. We normally do this at the start, but we knew the wonderful Doug Aldrich had a lot to say, so we'll do it now because there's a few. We start with Christine Ann Stones. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday, lovely. Happy birthday, Christine.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
It's good with all the boys saying happy birthday as well.
I know. I like that.
Yvonne Collins, could I please get a birthday shout out for my mate Irene Williamson? It's her birthday on the 18th of January. Happy birthday, Irene.
Happy birthday!
Come on, Irene.
I've heard that one before.
She's never heard that.
Well, it's not Eileen, it's Irene.
I know.
Maybe Mike Daly got in touch. Hi guys, can I get a birthday shout out for my darling wife Sarah? It was her birthday yesterday. Can you tell her I love her and that it won't be long now before we can stand for hours and hours to get to that barrier spot again? Guys, you've been fantastic throughout this pandemic, keeping us sane and grounded every week with CrowCast. Love and hugs to the whole Crow family. Happy birthday, Sarah!
Happy birthday, Sarah!
Robert Owen, please can you give a big happy birthday to my son Aled, who is 6 today, from Mummy, Diddy, not Daddy, Seren and Evie. Keep up the great work. Happy birthday, Aled!
Happy birthday, Aled!
I hope Diddy has spent a fortune on it.
Yes.
It was Claire Jones's birthday, January 2nd. Happy birthday, Claire!
Happy birthday, Claire!
Hope you had a great day, lovely. Jill Harris, can I have a birthday shout out for the wonderful Steve Wright? He will be another year older, but never old. He is my rock and my soulmate, and is supporting me now as he has done so many times in the past. I wish I was taking him out for a few pints, but sadly not to be so. I'm sure a shout out from you guys would make his night. Thank you. Happy birthday, Steve.
Happy
birthday, Steve. Steve Wright in the afternoon.
Wrong, David.
And he's never heard that before.
Oliver May has asked, please can you give or wish my girlfriend Elizabeth Holmes a happy birthday? It's January 15th. Happy birthday, Liz.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Liz.
Happy birthday, Liz.
We got some fella here, Ryan Richards.
Who's he?
It's our manager. It's his birthday on the 16th of January. Happy birthday, Rico.
Happy birthday,
Rico. And
was it Ronnie's doing the Frosties advert? Great.
I think that's it for the birthday shout outs, isn't it?
I think that's it. No, it's not. And last and certainly least,
Look at his face. Look at his face. Look at
it's our very own Mr. David Wincher's birthday on the 14th of January.
Cheers,
Happy birthday.
Happy
Hey,
birthday.
boys. I look forward to receiving all my presents.
You'll be receiving the
Happy birthday, bro.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
And that's all the birthdays.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Dave's like, I know, I'm ready to go now. Thank you very much.
Straight up.
Oh.
Happy birthday. No.
To you.
It's that time. Tell me the
The
lyric.
harmonies. Oh, fucking hell.
Oh, fucking hell.
Tell me the lyric. Give me the lyric. What's the next lyric? It's lyric time. Tell me the lyric. Give me the lyric. What's the next lyric? It's lyric time. What's the next line? What's the next line? What's the next line?
Oh, fucking hell.
This should be an easy one for everybody, I think. There's a mother calling. There's a mother calling. What's the next line? Go.
While we're waiting for the answer, how about we have a little bit of Crow Radio?
Crow Radio. So this this week we thought we'd go for down to Doug Aldrich. We thought we'd have guitar gods, guitar heroes, guitar legends. Basically, anyone who's awesome on the guitar, including Doug himself. So I'm going to go through the playlist. I'm not going to mention the songs because there's so many. I'm going to give you the artists and you can go and listen to yourselves, right? So we have Steve Vai, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jeff Beck, Joe Satriani, Mark Knopfler, Gary Moore, Peter Green, Eric Clapton, Santana, Joe Bonamassa, Prince, Slash, got Eric Clapton again, Derek the Dominoes, Van Halen, Jimi Hendrix, Zeppelin, Chuck Berry, Queen, Black Sabbath, Pink Floyd, David Gilmour, Aerosmith, Dio, Whitesnake, Metallica, Foo Fighters, Biffy Clyro, 4 Years Strong, Ozzy Osbourne, Stone Sour, and the Wild Hearts. What a playlist. That's like 2 hours worth of music.
Wow. Wow, that's jam-packed. That is
Go there again,
jam-packed. Yeah, what were the songs, Dave? Why didn't you read the songs out? Why didn't you read the songs out?
Because I have a playlist. That's like 30 songs, eh?
That's
It's all right. This is your moment again,
We've
man.
got all night. Got all night, have we?
Is it because you didn't have solo, is it? Do you want a solo?
Go and check it out yourselves. Go and check it out yourselves. There you are. Have a look. There you are. Job done.
Oh, there we are.
So go to Spotify, press a little green heart, share with all your mates, and enjoy.
Fabulous. And I expect within the next 10, 20 minutes, you will put the link in this thread and the fan page at some point.
Yeah, I'll put the link in the fan page. You can just click it and go onto it. Just make sure you like it and you share it as well.
Fabulous. So that's this week's Crow Radio, all about what, Dave?
Guitar gods.
Yeah.
Surprised
Sorry,
everyone, mate.
Dave, I'm surprised you didn't pay yourself on
I
it.
was going to say, yeah, it's surprising.
sorry if we left anybody out, but it's quite a long list. So long, Dave didn't want to read the songs out.
Yeah.
But
one job, Dave. One job.
One job, Dave. One job. Now I have to move on. No, oh, there we are. I'll have to move on to the next segment now, which brings us on to Crow Fitness. Do you want to tell everybody what's going on there, Dave? It's been quite a busy week. There's been a lot of active things on the socials.
Yes. Now, we did not expect the amount of participation in Crow Fitness. We had at least, the first day we had 100 members join. It's absolutely incredible watching people doing what they're doing, whether it's a big long run or it's just a short walk. You're all tracking it. So what we decided to do was create our own Facebook group, Crow Fitness group, which I'm actually going to paste post to the fan page again, so you can join it, and we can use that separately for the Crow post because there were so many of them. We want to keep them separate in the group. We did not expect this amount of participation. It's amazing, absolutely amazing, and well done everyone for getting stuck in.
Yeah, I mean, Annie and the admins have been doing a great job on the fan page. So for anybody who doesn't realize, we have a Those Damn Crows official fan page. It's an amazing community. It's a family. So obviously everybody came out to January. They're super excited, super motivated by the Crow Fitness, thanks to Annie Joyce. But it did kind of take over all the threads, and there was certain kind of topics being missed. So yeah, it's kind of taken wings, and it's got its own page now as well.
Yeah, which actually is amazing. We did not expect it to be that successful. So it's its own entity in its own right now. So it's got its own page. If you want to take part, it's just, you could do anything. You don't have to go for a run, just go for a walk, just get stuck in, comment on it, just have a little bit of a community. And we're actually we've started curating. We're going to create people in the group, creating a playlist that you can listen to while you're doing your walks or your runs or whatnot. So it's really exciting. It's really nice to be a part of. So I'm enjoying being a part of that. Yeah. So all good.
Yeah, I'm loving it. There's people who haven't walked for a long time. So it's kind of got them out in the fresh air. There's a lot of athletes in there who are doing incredible as well. Definitely off my pace, sadly, at the moment. I'm still kind of building. But yeah, man, it's a really cool community. But there, Dave, and I've kind of got myself familiar now with the Strava thing because I didn't really get that kind of app or what it does, but that's cool as well because what it's done is kind of shown me I'm more in competition with myself now to see if I can either keep to what I'm doing or slightly better it, like, you know, without obviously a bag of ice being on my ankles or 3 weeks on the settee, like, you know. So
it's just been positive, innit, and getting out there and just seeing the world and having a walk and whatnot. But even if you don't want to join up to Strava, you can still join the group and you can just post what you're up to and just put some photos in the group. You don't even have to be on Strava, so you can still join it. I mean, we got 100 and so members now, so it's a hell of a community.
Well, there's all sorts in there. There's Samba, what are they called? Sorry, Samba classes. Is it Zumba classes. There's karate. I've seen go on there. There's the kind of home workouts, which I know like Shane likes the intense workouts. There, a lot of people are starting to post them, which is quite interesting as well. And walking, cycling, running. It's pretty cool. It's really really coul.
So
what's this talk about getting us once a week to do something on there? Have I?
Yeah, well, we were kind of having a bit of a conversation with Derek from the fan page. Now, this could be a possibility. All right. Well done, Shane, for remembering. I was trying to forget.
Traders like no.
Hang on now. Live on air. What I think we're going to do, just to kind of have a bit of fun as well, especially with the Crow family, I think we're going to get Annie to come up with a couple of exercises which are kind of funny, or like what you did, Shane, you know, with the balancing. You had to work out your point. Is that what it's called? Your point of like balance?
Yeah, your point of balance. It was a crow. I think it was a crow pose, which was brilliant. Yeah.
I think what we're going to try and do, or Derek suggested it, which is a cool idea, we're going to possibly create a crow wheel with some activities and a crow wheel with some crows, and basically we will have a week to try and complete the task with a couple of videos obviously showing, and everyone can see the progress on CrowCast, whether it was a disaster or a success. I can see Shina's like, I am not fucking signing up for this. You take my name off that wheel.
Shina's like fucking headstand or something now.
Hey, I reckon the silent assassin there will shock a few people. I think he got some moves in him there.
I do as well, like, so yeah, it's something we're in the early stages of talking about, but it could be, you know, and I'm open to learning. So I think Annie's going to come up with a few things, and also what we're going to do as well is we're going to create a crow wheel as well for some of the fitness guys, but we'll be still doing giveaways for the fan page as well. So I just don't want anybody to feel like if they're not into that, that's absolutely fine. There'll be loads of other things that we're going to be doing over the due course, which will appeal to everybody, like, you know. So
100%. That's it in a nutshell, Ronnie Axford. There's room for everyone. Vanita, can we pull that comment up? You're all out there being full-on fitness fanatics. Meanwhile, my knees crack when I get up off a couch. Yeah, mine do that too. That's just age, I think. But I'm back on it now. I'm back on it.
Yeah, well, we got to be. We got the Steelhouse charity football. That's got to happen this year. Yeah. Commiserations, is that? I can't think of the word.
Commiserations.
What's in the cup? What's in the cup?
I tell you what, boys, we'll make a deal with the Steelhouse, boys, and we'll give them a 10-goal head start.
No, don't go saying that now. I'm not. No. Me and Shane are all out destroy, son. You need charity. It will be the money raised and given to a beautiful cause. That's about it. That's where charity stops on that day.
Yeah.
Like, go over that chalk line.
Are we doing a full team 11 aside, or are we doing a 6 aside, 7 aside? What?
Well, I've kind of just been riffing with Max at the moment, so I think it's going to be full pitch, and that's about all the details that I want to say for now, because we got some brilliant ideas brewing in the background. But I think it will be full size pitch, 11 aside.
I tell you what's probably better.
Mm-hmm.
think about. We'll maybe discuss it off here. But sorry, I forget people are watching.
Well,
but
no, I mean, playing
the
on those
half-
full-size
half
goals,
pitch
am I
we'd
right
play
then,
on,
boys?
boys? You know the half pitch we'd play on the 6 or 7 aside we'd play, and then
Yeah.
having rolling subs.
Yeah, that could be a very cool
Because
idea.
you know, I don't want to kill Max and Mikey. You know, they are festival promoters. A full pitch is too much. It's too much for them.
Yeah, I agree.
So half a pitch and more subs will only benefit them. We got to make a game of it. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Like, you know, rather than your squad of 16, we'll give them like what? How many? I know what you're saying there.
Yeah.
So it's like a team of 4 or 5 they can have. Like, do you know what I mean?
Pull me on, I'll foul someone. Like someone else can go in then. Come in.
It doesn't work like that, Lloyd. If you foul
It
someone
fucking does.
and you're off, that means we're a man down. And now I know we got a food to spare, but like I said, take no prisoners in a Greenall. Take no prisoners.
None.
Right.
I tell you, Max is going to be up for this, and Mikey's there with his Mikey's playing, or he's going to be there with his 1970s Cluffy coat on, isn't he?
Yes, that's exactly.
Kevin Keegan on the side, like.
He's gonna have the coat. He's gonna have the clipboard. He's gonna have the day cap, and he's gonna be
on the chewing gum.
Yeah,
tactics. Yeah. Whiskey nose.
It'll be a glorious moment when you see that board go up and he substitutes Max. Oof. Stirring a pot. Anyway, shifting gears. Let's have a bit of this.
It's Dave, did you know? Fucking hell. Simple. Scoop it up, beat.
Sorry, Dave.
Tornado cause it to rain fish. Tornadoes can cause it to rain fish.
Yeah, of course you can, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, sorry, didn't realize you all knew that.
We got another one?
What the fucking shit? All right then. In Detroit, right, there was once a group of undercover cops who unknowingly targeted another group of undercover cops who were infiltrating a drug gang, and it was a whole year before anyone realized what was going on.
Yeah, I know that.
Sounds like a fabulous cop, mate.
Yeah,
So
I knew that.
Yeah, we all know.
Fuck's sake, man. Fuck's sake.
I knew that.
All right. Pigeons can tell the difference between Picassos and Monets.
Shut the door.
I tell you what, they can tell the difference between my car and next door's car.
They know, but
Is it really? What?
Apparently they I don't know any details, but apparently they can, yeah. They're quite intelligent, apparently, pigeons.
Well,
yeah. Well, they use them, don't they, to do like the tests where they're like it's like the tapping the buttons to get the treat or whatever it is. And
That's
they learn the
crows. Crows do
sequences.
that.
No, pigeons.
Crows.
that's crows.
Well, they can if they want, I suppose, but they use pigeons.
they got wings never big. Same thing.
Yeah. Wings in a beak, job done. Bish bash bosh, bimmy bam bomb. All
Come on, seeing as it's your birthday, let's have one more fact. Come on, Dave. Come on.
You'll know this old world is a great world after all. Smile, smile.
It's time for Animaniacs, and we're zany to the max.
Crows hold grudges.
True. That's true, Ali. That is true.
They recognize faces and they'll fucking do you.
Your eyes filling someone in now.
No, they will. Yeah, they hold grudges. They recognize a face and
The
they'll
ones of
fucking
Harvard.
they'll do you. Like, yeah, face recognition. Like,
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
Yep,
Yeah.
truth.
Yeah.
Jack Skinner. Yeah, truth. True.
Agree with that.
True. True.
You've had 4 facts tonight, haven't you? Or 3? 3 or 4 facts?
Well,
Jeez.
it's somebody's
Value for money.
birthday this week, and I thought if I talk about your birthday, Lords, then you were not super obsessed about it. I can't get my words out now, boys. You can tell it's the end. It was the Doug
It's
interview.
the
It was
end.
brilliant.
It's the end of the world.
It's the end. It's the end. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so apparently, watch out if you're going to piss off a crow.
Ooh.
Right, are we going to give the competition a winner?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
I forgot about that, mate. Give him 3 segments there in a
3
row.
segments in a row. Here goes Tits.
Amazing. Okay, so going back to about 20 minutes ago, we did a competition called What's the Next Line? The line was, there's a mother calling, and the line that follows is in a state of shock. Loads of people had this. But the winner is... Sorry. Claire Robertson.
All right, Claire.
Well done.
Congratulations, Claire. Anything you want off the Crow merch store is yours.
Can I also say as well, last week's winner was the first official winner of Twitch. If that person is still listening on Twitch, I have tried to send a message, but I think it will only appear in the stream for that show while it's live.
I've only spoken to him, but you need to talk to me.
Well, it's
Communication,
COVID,
boys.
It's COVID,
Communication.
brother. It's COVID.
You need to talk to me.
Sorry, since my last project of can you contact him and blah blah blah. I was like, wicked. But he's never got back to me. Oh, there we are. Oh, there we are. I spoke to Shane. Well, he didn't reply to me, Diamond Knight, did you? You didn't reply to me. I've been there all week waiting on your reply. All week. Worrying about your prize. I haven't slept in the nights, I gotta be honest. I haven't slept. I had one job. Never mind. Never mind.
I've got a picture now of old Diamond Knight. Full suit of armour on an horse about the judge coming. I don't know why.
That's exactly how I envisioned it.
I love it. I love it.
There's a question there from Sarah Elizabeth Mitchell. Have calendars been re-released? Not as yet. They're in the making. There will be some more coming very soon.
That is true. Along with, as we were talking earlier, obviously it is our January sale at the moment. We are clearing out some of the older stock while the new is on its way. But I think that's all we can say regarding that at the moment. So yeah, clearing out some of the old stock. There are more 2021 calendars on the way. And also, this is a perfect chance to say a massive thank you to Doug Aldrich for coming on tonight. Superb guest. Thank you for spending time with us. Dead Daisies, go and check them out. Holy Ground is their brand new record. We will be touring with the guys soon. I think that's kind of being sorted out now for another time. And also, if you can subscribe, hit your notification when you see the posters of CrowCast or the reminders. You can obviously watch again as well, so let everybody know that. And like us on Facebook and give us a share. And I think that's about time. Ooh, go on, Greeno.
Also, we were supposed to say, obviously, there's Those Damn Crows fan page. People who aren't a part of it, you can just go and click on the page. We don't normally say that because we assume everybody watching is on the fan page, but there's the official Those Damn Crows Facebook page, and there's the Those Damn Crows fan page, which you can meet all the Crow family. There's an incredible family there. So if you want to join that, you can.
Perfect. Let's have a bit of this.
Ladies and gentlemen, one-liner, shiner.
I weren't looking at that photo. New Year, boys. Life lessons this week, right? So we got the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. Make of it what you please.
Yeah.
There we go.
You know, if COVID lets us fucking free, we will.
Yeah.
Do you know, I love Shina's one-liners
It's the
because
one
he says
after,
something
isn't
really
it?
poignant, and then the next line is the one-liner, not
Yeah,
the one-liner he said after it.
Yeah.
I've set myself up for a but
Yeah.
that's what I do.
Crow family, thank you all again for joining us. Another incredible week. We will see you next Tuesday on CrowCast. Take care. Stay safe.